In the heart of Pennsylvania Dutch country, where horse-drawn buggies still clip-clop down country roads, something remarkable grows in these fields. These tomatoes have never known chemical fertilizers, never been sprayed with pesticides, never touched by anything synthetic. Yet they're more vigorous, more resilient, and many would say more flavorful than anything you'll find in a modern supermarket. How do the Amish grow such magnificent tomatoes without a single bottle of chemical fertilizer or pesticide? And what ancient wisdom do they possess that modern agriculture has forgotten? Today, we'll spend time on an Amish farm and discover the patient, natural methods that have sustained their communities for generations. Methods that don't fight against nature, but work in harmony with it. The Amish have farmed in North America for nearly 300 years. Originally from Switzerland and Germany, they came seeking religious freedom and the right to live simply, close to the land. Their faith teaches them to be stewards of God's creation, not masters of it. They believe the earth was given to humanity as a gift, to be cared for and passed on to the next generation in better condition than they received it. This philosophy extends to every aspect of farming. While modern agriculture often seeks to dominate nature, to force maximum yields through chemicals and technology, the Amish take a different path. What if we work with the soil's natural fertility instead of depleting it? What if we encourage beneficial insects instead of killing everything with pesticides? What if patience and observation matter more than speed and force? The results speak for themselves. Amish tomatoes are legendary at farmers markets. Their soil, after generations of natural care, is richer than when they started. And their methods, once dismissed as old-fashioned, are now being studied by scientists seeking sustainable agriculture solutions. Today, we'll follow the complete journey of an Amish tomato, from seed to harvest. We'll learn techniques that have been refined over centuries, passed from parent to child, perfected through patient observation. This isn't just about growing tomatoes, it's about a different way of seeing the world, one where nature is teacher, not enemy, where time is ally, not obstacle, and where the best results come not from forcing, but from cooperating. For the Amish, growing tomatoes begins months before a single seed is planted. It begins with the soil. Watch this carefully. That's not chemical fertilizer being spread. It's compost, 1, perhaps 2 years old, made from last year's plant waste, kitchen scraps, and animal manure, all broken down by time and natural decomposition. The Amish knows something that took modern science decades to prove. Healthy soil isn't just dirt, it's a living ecosystem containing billions of microorganisms that plants depend on. That compost pile you're seeing was turned every few weeks throughout last summer, not with a machine, but with pitchforks by hand. The physical work of turning introduces oxygen, which feeds the bacteria and fungi that break everything down. See that steam? The pile is still working, even in winter. Inside, it's warm enough to put your hand in, sometimes reaching 150 degrees Fahrenheit. That heat kills weed seeds and harmful bacteria while preserving the beneficial ones. Now, in early spring, that compost is being worked into the soil. The horses move slowly, much slower than a tractor would, but that slow pace serves a purpose. It doesn't compact the soil as much, doesn't crush the delicate structure that took all winter to develop. Look at this soil. You could run your fingers through it like sand. There are no hard clumps, no chemical residues, no compacted layers where roots can't penetrate. He's not testing that soil with a chemical kit. He's using knowledge passed down from his father, who learned from his father. The way it smells, earthy and clean. The way it feels, slightly moist, not muddy. The way earthworms appear when he digs down just a few inches. Those earthworms are what the Amish call the farmer's friends. They tunnel through the soil, creating channels for water and air. Their castings are some of the finest fertilizer nature provides. A field full of earthworms is a field that's healthy. Now comes the manure. not fresh. That would be too strong, potentially burning young plants. This manure has aged for at least a year, becoming mild and rich in nutrients. The timing matters. This final addition happens just 2 weeks before planting. It gives the soil a last boost of nitrogen, the nutrient tomatoes crave most for strong leaf growth. This field is now ready. The work took months. The materials cost almost nothing, just time, labor, and what the farm itself produced. But the results will be extraordinary. Modern fertilizers can force rapid growth, but they can't build this, a living soil that will feed plants naturally, protect them from disease, and improve year after year instead of degrading. While the field prepared outside, another kind of work happened indoors. The growing of seedlings, a process the Amish take just as seriously as soil preparation. These seeds weren't bought from a catalog. They were saved from last year's best tomatoes, the healthiest plants, the most flavorful fruit. This practice of seed saving goes back centuries. Each year, by choosing seeds from plants that thrived in their specific conditions, the Amish gradually developed tomato varieties perfectly adapted to their land. That potting soil is homemade too, half compost, half peat moss or coconut coir, with a handful of wood ash mixed in for minerals. No chemical starter fertilizers, no synthetic growth hormones. The watering is careful, just enough to moisten the soil without flooding. Too much water and the seeds rot. Too little and they won't germinate. This knowledge comes from experience, not from instructions on a package. Watch this transformation. In 5 to 7 days, life appears, but it's not forced or rushed. These seedlings grow at nature's pace. No fluorescent grow lights here, just patience and attention.
Notice what that young girl is doing, gently touching the seedlings. The Amish learned long ago that seedlings touched daily grow stockier, stronger stems. Scientists now know this too. It's called thigmomorphogenesis. Physical touch triggers hormones that strengthen plant tissue. These seedlings are ready for transplanting. But look at the difference between these and store-bought seedlings. The commercial ones, forced to grow fast under artificial light and heavy fertilization, are tall and thin, what farmers call leggy. The Amish seedlings, grown slowly and naturally, are short and stocky, much more resilient. But they're not planted immediately. First comes hardening off, gradually introducing them to outdoor conditions. This week-long process prevents transplant shock. First day, just 2 hours outside in full shade. Second day, 4 hours with some morning sun. Third day, 6 hours. By the end of the week, they're outside all day, only brought in at night if frost threatens. This patience, this willingness to let plants develop slowly and naturally, is central to Amish farming. They're not trying to beat nature's timeline. They're trying to work within it.
Among the Amish, large farming tasks are often community events. What we're about to witness is something you won't see in modern agriculture, neighbors gathering not just to work, but to fellowship. The spacing isn't random. 30 inches between plants in rows 48 inches apart. This spacing allows enough air circulation to prevent disease, yet plants are close enough to shade the soil and conserve moisture. Every person has a role. The older men supervise, offering guidance. The women and teenage girls do most of the actual planting. Young boys carry supplies. Even the smallest children help, hauling water in buckets sized for their strength. Watch her technique carefully. She's checking for root-bound plants, gently loosening any circling roots so they'll grow outward into the soil instead of continuing to spiral. Most of that stem will be buried. Tomatoes can grow roots from any part of their stem that's underground. By planting deep, she's giving this plant a much larger root system, meaning better drought tolerance and nutrient uptake. The soil is pressed firm, not packed hard, but firm enough to eliminate air pockets that could dry out roots. Her hands know exactly how much pressure to apply. Too loose and the plant topples. Too tight and roots can't expand. That water serves two purposes. It settles soil around roots, and it gives each plant a good start. But notice, it's poured at the base, not sprinkled on leaves. The Amish know wet foliage invites disease.
There's a rhythm to this work. The pace is steady but not rushed. They're not racing. They talk as they work, sharing news, telling stories, teaching children. This is how knowledge passes from generation to generation, not from books or videos, but from grandmother to granddaughter, father to son, neighbor to neighbor. The work ends with a shared meal. The host family has prepared lunch, plain food but abundant and made with care. There's no money changing hands here. Today, this family received help. Next week, these same people will gather at another farm for another planting. This isn't just farming efficiency. This is community. This is what gives their way of life its strength, knowing you don't face challenges alone, that your neighbors will come when needed, that you're part of something larger than yourself. As day ends, 600 tomato plants stand in neat rows, each one planted by hand, each one given individual attention, each one starting its life with the best possible foundation.
In modern farming, crops are often checked from the seat of a tractor. On an Amish farm, checking means walking, row by row, plant by plant, every single day. He's looking for subtle signs: a leaf slightly yellower than others, a wilting plant that might need extra water, the beginning of insect damage while it's still manageable. There, a tomato hornworm. In a conventional farm, this would be controlled with pesticide spray, killing not just the pest, but every insect in the field. Here, it's controlled with 2 fingers. This handpicking might seem tedious, but by catching pests early, when populations are small, he prevents outbreaks. 1 hornworm caught today means 50 not hatching tomorrow. The soil is dry deeper down. This plant needs water, but rather than watering everything, he'll water only what needs it. No sprinklers here, no drip irrigation even, just boys with watering cans giving each plant what it needs. It's labor-intensive, but water is precious, and this method wastes none of it. All that water goes directly to roots. None is wasted on leaves or soil between plants, and by watering early in the morning, evaporation is minimal. Now comes another crucial step: mulching. That hay will be spread several inches thick around each plant.
Watch how they do this. The mulch goes around the plant, but not touching the stem. Too close and it holds moisture against the stem, inviting disease. This mulch serves multiple purposes. It shades soil, keeping roots cool and preventing moisture evaporation. It suppresses weeds, so less labor is needed for weeding. As it breaks down slowly throughout the season, it adds organic matter back to the soil. The temperature difference is dramatic. On a 90-degree day, exposed soil might reach 105 degrees, hot enough to damage shallow roots. Under mulch, soil stays at 90 or below. As plants grow taller, they need support. Commercial farms use metal cages or heavy stakes. The Amish use what they have: wooden stakes cut from their woodlot, twine they bought in bulk years ago. The ties are fabric, torn strips of old clothes, soft enough not to damage stems. Each plant is tied loosely, with room to grow thicker. She's pruning suckers, those small shoots that appear where branches meet the main stem. Left alone, they'd create a bushier plant, but with smaller fruit and increased disease risk from poor air circulation. The technique is simple: just pinch off suckers when they're young. This directs the plant's energy into fruit production rather than excessive foliage.
This daily attention might seem like overkill, but it's preventative care. Problems caught early, a disease spot, an insect infestation, a nutrient deficiency, are easily corrected. Problems ignored become crises. Aphids. In conventional farming, this would mean pesticide application. Here, it means a different approach. A simple solution, literally: water and biodegradable soap. It suffocates soft-bodied insects without leaving harmful residues. The treatment needs repeating every few days, but it works. But the Amish don't just react to pests, they prevent them by encouraging natural predators. Those flowers aren't just decoration. They attract beneficial insects: ladybugs, lacewings, parasitic wasps that prey on aphids, caterpillars, and other pests. There, a ladybug doing exactly what nature designed it to do. One ladybug can eat 50 aphids a day. A field full of ladybugs means the farmer doesn't have to do anything. Those children have collected toads,
They're releasing them in the tomato field. Toads are voracious insect eaters, consuming hundreds of pests nightly. By providing habitat, mulch to hide under, water nearby, the Amish ensure these helpers stick around. But insects aren't the only challenge. That's early blight, a fungal disease that affects most tomato fields eventually. His response is immediate but measured. Remove affected leaves to prevent spread, but he's not panicking or reaching for fungicide. Those diseased leaves must be destroyed, burned, not composted, to prevent spores from spreading. This simple act of sanitation stops mild problems from becoming epidemics. But the real disease prevention happened months ago. The wide spacing, the good air circulation, the strong, slowly grown plants that are naturally more resistant. The practice of crop rotation, never planting tomatoes in the same spot 2 years running. This 4-year rotation is sacred among Amish farmers. Tomatoes 1 year, beans the next, then corn, then a winter cover crop to rebuild soil. By the time tomatoes return to this spot, disease organisms that affect tomatoes will have died out from lack of hosts. That's compost tea, not a fertilizer exactly, but a way to spread beneficial microorganisms onto plant leaves. These good bacteria and fungi colonize leaf surfaces, leaving no room for disease organisms to establish. It smells earthy, not unpleasant, just organic. Applied every 2 weeks, it's a preventative that costs nothing but time. The Amish approach to pests and disease isn't about warfare. It's about creating conditions where problems are less likely to develop, and when they do appear, addressing them with the gentlest effective method. No chemicals, no poisons, just observation, prevention, and the understanding that a healthy plant in healthy soil is naturally more resistant to everything that might harm it.
3 months have passed since planting day. The wait is over. Harvest has begun. The picking is selective. Only fruit at perfect ripeness is taken each day. This means walking the rows daily, harvesting a few from each plant rather than stripping everything at once. The handling is gentle. These tomatoes have never been bred for toughness like commercial varieties. They're heirloom types, selected for flavor, not shipping durability. That means they bruise easily, but oh, the taste. That flavor, intense, sweet, tart, complex, is what all this work was about. You can't buy a tomato that tastes like this. It exists only because someone took the time to grow it right. The diversity of varieties isn't just beautiful, it's insurance. Some varieties resist disease better, some tolerate heat or cold. By growing many types, the farmer ensures that no matter what the season brings, some will thrive. The best tomatoes, perfect in color, size, and condition, will go to market. The Amish are known for having the finest tomatoes at farmers markets, commanding premium prices because customers know quality when they taste it. Tomatoes with small blemishes or odd shapes go for canning. Nothing is wasted. By day's end, these will be transformed into jars of tomato sauce, stewed tomatoes, salsa, preserved for winter eating. This canning operation runs all harvest season. By September, the cellar will hold hundreds of jars, a rainbow of preserved foods to sustain the family until next summer's garden. Those records matter. They tell him which varieties performed best this year, which spots in the field were most productive, what weather patterns affected growth. This knowledge informs next year's decisions. The work was enormous, the methods were ancient, the tools were simple, but the results in fruit, in flavor, in soil health, in community bonds, in knowledge passed to children are immeasurable.
So, how do the Amish grow magnificent tomatoes without chemicals? Let's remember what we've learned. It begins with soil, built over years with compost and manure, treated as a living thing, not inert dirt. It continues with patience, growing seedlings slowly, planting at nature's pace, never forcing. It thrives through attention, daily walking of rows, catching problems early, hand-picking pests before populations explode. It succeeds through prevention, crop rotation, beneficial insects, proper spacing, good air circulation. And it works because of philosophy. The Amish don't see themselves as conquering nature or maximizing yields at any cost. They see themselves as caretakers, working in partnership with natural systems. They know that soil fed naturally stays healthy generation after generation. Soil fed with chemicals degrades, requiring ever more inputs just to maintain production.
They understand that farming knowledge must be passed down through experience, not just read in books, that community bonds matter as much as crop yields, that how you grow food shapes not just your harvest, but your entire way of life. These methods aren't just old-fashioned nostalgia. They're increasingly relevant as we recognize the costs of industrial agriculture: soil depletion, chemical pollution, loss of biodiversity, fossil fuel dependence. You don't have to be Amish to apply these principles. Anyone with a garden can compost kitchen scraps, can choose natural fertilizers over synthetic ones, can hand-pick pests and encourage beneficial insects, can select seeds, save them, improve their varieties over time.
So here's a question for you. Could you grow a tomato plant without chemicals? Could you build healthy soil, attract beneficial insects, practice patience? The Amish prove it's not only possible, it's better. Better for soil, better for flavor, better for passing knowledge to the next generation, better for understanding our connection to the earth that feeds us. This isn't about returning to the past. It's about carrying forward wisdom that should never have been abandoned, about remembering that the best way to grow food isn't necessarily the fastest or the most technological. It's the way that sustains both land and people for generations. If this journey into Amish tomato farming has inspired you, taught you something, or simply given you a moment of peace in our too-fast world, please like this video and subscribe for more stories about traditional wisdom and sustainable living. What did you find most surprising about Amish farming methods? Could you imagine growing food this way? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, remember, the best things grow not from forcing, but from cooperating with nature's wisdom.